welcome to a short sequence on Primal Vinaysa. Let's get ready to move together, to breathe in a three-dimensional way, to take up space and really know what it's like to be in our bodies. So let's go ahead and start. Just kneeling. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can always bring a blanket underneath your shins or a blanket behind your knees for more support for the joints of the knees themselves. And close your eyes. Let your arms be soft. Let your arms actually dangle along your body. Okay? And release any tension that you're holding in your neck and your shoulders. And breathe here. In and out. Okay, go ahead and lean your torso forward, hands to your mat. Okay. Set up in tabletop. And let's learn to map our spine. So tuck your tailbone in, round your spine, low back, mid back, upper back rounds, chin into your chest. Actively press the earth away from you. Press your shins down, press your hands down. And leading with your pelvis, allow your tailbone to lift, low back, mid back, upper back, open through your chest, lengthen through the top of your head. Okay. And then again, pelvis leads, low back, mid back, upper back, round. And then tailbone lifts, reach, extend through your spine and your chest. And begin to move like this intuitively. Close your eyes for a moment and sense and feel what it is like to lead the movement with your pelvis instead of maybe your chest or even your head. And go between deep flexion, the cat shape of the spine, and then deep extension, the more opened position of your spine, chest open. Full breaths. Don't try and breathe any style of a breath except for a natural breath that works for you at this time. And then come back, tabletop shape. Okay. Press your hips to the sky, bring your feet together. Okay. Knees wide, inner ankles and big toes touch. Pull your body forward for squat dog. Okay. Knees wide, hips back. Pull your body forward for a high plank. A shift and move forward. Move back and move forward. Okay, continue to do that. Spread your fingers wide on your mat. Take up space. Okay. When you press to go back into squat dog, really notice moving backwards. When you pull to come forward, notice the pulling of your chest. And now shifting from squat dog to plank, we're going to do squat dog to lunge. Step your left foot outside of your left hand, take gentle spinal extension, and then squat dog. A right foot outside of right hand, spinal flexion or extension, and then go back, extend, flex, extend with your spine, flex your spine. Okay. Work to land toe heel when you step forward, and really work to dome your back as much as you can when you're bringing your knee in, to allow your step forward to be a little bit more graceful, maybe more accessible. Okay? So do 5 on each side. Okay, again, you can try on sight sensory deprivation, so SSD. Close your eyes and notice the movement of your body, notice the flow of your breath. Observe where you are tight. You can also have blocks underneath your hands to allow for a little bit more accessibility in this shape. also develop grip strength by holding onto the blocks, okay, with your hands. And when you're complete from your right and your left side, go ahead and sit back on your heels. Okay, and we're gonna work kneel to heel. So everything above the waist is really, really soft. Okay, work to press into your shin bones. Okay, extend through your spine, soft arms. Okay, so we're also working slow descension. So slowly shift back. Okay, allow your breath to come in and open wide. True diaphragmatic natural breath. Exhale to lift. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Inhale, down, open wide. Exhale to lift, reach. Okay, inhale, down, open wide. Okay, exhale to lift. Okay, a few more at your pace. Beginning to integrate and learn what true trunk stability can feel like. And notice if you're pitching forward with your hips, can you just relax the hips? And if you're moving your rib cage out, let the ribs fall down and sink into the front of the spine. All right, when that's complete, go ahead and shift forward, hands and knees. And squat dog. Knees wide, hips back, shift forward, high plank. Squat dog, knees wide, hips back. Begin to move intuitively. And notice what you're holding on to. One more back and forward. Okay. Step your left foot between your hands. Okay. And these are called functional flexors. So imagine we're here in a runner's lunge, and imagine your hips. There's molasses or concrete poured around the hips. Now keep the hips steady. Hands to the mat or to a block. Lift your back knee up towards the ceiling or the sky, and then drop your knee. Okay. Lift your back knee. Slowly descend your knee. Okay, one more. Lift and descend. Shift back, squat dog. Switch feet, right foot forward. Okay. Hips are stable. Drop your knee, and it might not even come down to the earth. Did you see how much my hip shifted down? Okay, so just allow the knee to come down, and this is definitely my more challenging side, and then press your knee back up towards the sky. Okay. Knee down, and then back up. One more, knee down, back up, shift back, squat dog, shift forward, lower down to the earth, pause. Bring your hands wide on your mat, a low and wide cobra. Scoop your chest, tuck your chin slightly, lengthen. Allow your feet and your leg bones to be heavy. And slowly come down. And shift back, child's pose. Shift forward, high plank. Okay. Press your hands on blocks or the mat. Tuck your toes and actually press the earth away from you. Shift back, land on your feet, chest to thighs, stand up. Okay. Let's go over dive and rise. Now, dive and rise, we get to learn what flexion of the spine is and what extension of our spine is. Okay. So go ahead, when you go into flexion, shift your hips back and also allow your feet to be soft, neutral. Toes can be slightly out. Find a neutral stance for your body. Okay. dive into a forward as if you're going into a swimming pool or the ocean. And then exhale, rise. Find spinal flexion or extension just gently. Okay. Dive on the inhale, hips back, chest to thighs. Exhale to rise, elbows in, lift through your torso. Inhale, dive. Exhale to rise. Go ahead and continue to do that on your own. Allow your breath to be expansive, present. Notice if you're stopping your breath. Okay, 3 more. Dive and rise. Now let's learn squat to stand. Now that you know dive and rise, go ahead and take your dive, hands to blocks or the earth, lift your heels, descend, knees down, untuck your toes, sit back on your heels, squat to kneel. Come back down, hands down, tuck your toes, shift your hips back. We're in a dive position, lift up to stand. Dive, hands down, lift high, descend, sit back on your heels, kneel to heel, shift your hips, crown of your head to the sky, slowly come back. Dive, tuck your toes, shift your hips back, rise. Okay, do that short sequence 3 to 5 more times at your pace. May we root down into the earth and also stand tall, right, while allowing our body, our senses to take on a new experience. Okay. Once you've completed 3 to 5, go ahead and find your way to the earth. Okay. Bring your feet forward. Okay. Arms out, slowly descend, and try to map your spine, starting with the pelvis. Low back, mid back, upper back, all the way to the earth. Okay. Pause here and breathe. Okay. Bring your feet out wide on your mat. And go ahead and sway your knees back and forth like a sail on a sailboat. And when you move to one side, press into the outside edge and the inner edge of your foot. And then shift to the opposite side. Same thing. And notice the sensations in the hips. And then back and forth. Slowly back to center. Hug your knees deeply into your chest. Round your spine, chin into your chest. And may we remember this was one of the first shapes that we were in for many, many months. May it be safe. May we feel held. Slowly release. Shavasana, feet wide, palms up, close your eyes, constructive rest.